Okay, we're gonna go through our summary from last week.
I suppose. All right.
Well, first we got to talk about injustice and how what happens if Superman snaps and decides that killing supervillains is a whole lot easier than imprisoning them.
See, I kind of
That's
like the
true.
idea of that, honestly.
Yeah, except that the injustice version of Superman was just a straight up douchebag.
Yeah, and then it extends to, okay, anybody that doesn't agree with me also gets thrown into that same pile.
Yeah, he went Hitler. Yeah.
As much as I like seeing ideas like that, I'm a nerd. I don't like change. That's why I honestly, Brie and Jason turned me off of seeing Logan the second they said the professor swears. I'm like, no, that's not the professor then. That man witnessed the Holocaust and did not drop an F-bomb.
Wait, he
No.
swears?
In
What?
Logan?
Yeah, apparently he starts saying,
Oh yeah,
He says
he's
fuck a
old and
lot.
cantankerous and senile.
Yeah. And has epilepsy?
Oh.
Of some kind? I don't know.
Yeah, he's
Whatever.
got something.
he's having
Anyway.
a lot of problems.
Mental storms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, to the game. So,
Yes.
kind of a quick
What's the deal
recap.
with Jean Grey dying all the time? Okay.
Quick recap for anybody, yeah, especially for Nate.
Hey.
As you guys were leaving, I forgot the name of the town, Everland.
Yep.
I think it's Everland, right? Yeah, Everland.
On
as
our
you-
way through the mountains.
Right. So you guys left Everland in the Iron Crags, heading to Hammerfell. You managed to convince Rule to kind of travel along with you. If he kind of agreed, mostly just so he could get out of town for a little bit. You guys kind of stirred up a bit of a mess for him. On the way, you guys found, traveling through the mountains, you found a body face down on the trail on the side of the mountain. Kind of examining it, looked to
Lady
be
dwarf.
looked to be a female dwarf. She was kind of clutching this box that it looks almost as if she fell on it. Further examining the body, you found what looked to be a crossbow bolt that she had been shot in the back, kind of between the shoulders. When you rolled her over, you found the crossbow bolt as it pushed the rest of the way through. You found the box, opened the box, and then a couple of voidlings sprang out. Well, one at a time. They took turns. They went to the supervillain school of fighting. Fight one at a time. Managed to take those guys down before realizing, oh, more of these are going to come out. So he closed the box, tied it up, and stuck it on Ristel's backpack. Said, here, have fun. Proceeding on to Hammerfell. Coming in, it started to get
Nobody at the gates.
no one at the gates. Gates are locked from the inside. Kind of took turns climbing over. I think Ristel and Rockmon went over the first one, opened the gate.
Aaron and Seven just chilled outside.
Yep. Mongo went over the second one, opened the gate. Again, locked from the inside. No sign of life. No sign of fights, struggles.
And he rolled really shitty on his strength rolls.
And then Rockman opened it with ease.
It was a really heavy door. Mongo loosened it for him. You managed to, or you came up in the main gates, these great big 20-foot wide double gates. Managed to find a way inside through a kind of a sally door, a side gate. Rockman managed to open the gates from the inside. And coming in, Ristel kind of went a little ways ahead, just kind of look around. You guys found this thick layer of dust over everything.
And the door shut behind us.
No, it
No,
didn't.
we left the door open.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought we were in dim light.
Let me finish. As you guys came in, like I said, Ristel kind of walked a little ways ahead, tripped over something, kind of looked down, picked it up. It looked to be a piece of bone from a dwarf. either leg or an arm bone. It's hard to say. But it was
Was
just
the
kind
leg
of
bone connected to the hip bone?
It was a piece of a bone.
Oh.
So no.
Oh.
And just for that, minus 500 XP.
Cool. I'll take that off myself. No problem.
But gates were opened. Ristel kind of walked forward a little ways, not crazy far. I think he said like 60 feet in, just kind of at the edge, so he could still see the gate and was trying to look in. And that's it. Hold on a second.
Ooh.
You.
Dun, dun, dun.
Too spoopy for me.
3 spoopy 5 me. I'm okay with this. It's Halloween.
Oh yeah, you layered on a couple times that the wind was blowing eerie effects and all that.
No, the only wind seemed to be coming from the open doors behind you.
That was before we went in, blowing through the city.
Oh yeah. You did kind of looking in. You could kind of see, almost like dust clouds, kind of blowing over the city. But that's where you guys are starting at. So, yay!
Ristel runs inside.
Full
I
speed.
forgot my owl.
Owl. Okay. Boop. There's your owl.
You...
Otherwise, it's all you guys.
Yeah, now that the doors are open and everybody's coming in, Ristel is going to start moving further inside. Just cautiously, quietly, because the stillness in here is just amplifying that need to not make any noise.
Sneaky, sneaky.
I was also going to send my owl in to do some scouting.
Okay. Like I said, the drawing on the board right now is basically just like the rough layout of how the gates were. So, not to scale.
And as he's going, Ristel is going to be looking around, trying to take note of any sign of habitation or activity.
Naren, you said you're owl scouting around, right?
Yep.
And Ristel's looking around as well. I imagine you guys are all kind of on edge looking around.
Yes.
So everybody give me
Yeah.
some perception checks. Naren, you can use your owl to make advantage on that.
I am, if nothing, if not consistent.
17, okay.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and as you're coming in, so it would make sense that 7 rolls really low. Just because there's not even torchlight in here. Like, it's complete darkness. Once you get past the gateway, where the sunlight was kind of coming in behind you, you get much past that, and, like, 7 can't really see.
I'll probably use what's it? I do have the spell for night viz.
Dark vision?
Just can't remember what it's called. Yeah, so is it just called dark vision?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
But everybody else...
Can't blame them for false advertisement.
Wait, should I have that? Should I have run that as myself and not my owl?
well, it's your owl doing it, so...
Okay, just making sure.
Let's see. I'd say Mongo, Rockmon, basically everybody but Nick. You guys are, again, like, everybody's, as you kind of come out of the sunlight, looking around, you guys are going to start to notice this dust. Like I said, there's this thick layer of dust over everything. Like, if you've ever been in like an old house or seen like on top of a bookshelf where they never clean, there's always that layer of dust.
Yes.
Oh, like my living room.
But
Like anywhere that I'm the only person that can reach.
yes. But this dust looks to be, I don't know, too thick.
And to be clear, is that everybody but Nick or everybody but Nate?
Nate. Sorry.
Probably everyone but Nate.
Okay.
Yeah. Everybody but 7. There we go.
Yay. What is dust?
Bristol, Mongo, Naren, Rockmon. Brahm did not roll.
Yeah, I was going to ask if I could roll maybe a survival check. Try to look for tracks and such on the ground, see like if people have gone through here recently, if not people have gone through here recently, something like that.
Okay.
That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thing.
So 19.
Things.
Also give me a perception check as well.
No problem.
Okay. Let me check something here.
Well, thick layer of dust cushions the footsteps, so we don't make much noise.
See, I have questions, but 7 hasn't seen it, so I can't ask.
Yeah, so everybody but 7's gonna notice it right off the bat once you get out of the light. And imagine eventually 7 would notice too, just if for no other reason than everybody else looking. Is the only you're gonna look off to in distance in the city, and you're gonna see, like I said, there's this thick layer of dust over everything. If the rumors are true, the gate's been closed a year and a half. This is too much dust. It's like the dust has kind of collapsed in on itself, has turned almost to dirt.
Yeah, I have a question. There is a distinct difference between stone dust and the normal dust in your house.
Mm-hmm.
Is it an excessive amount of stone dust?
Let's see.
To which my following question is
Nature?
there evidence of an explosion? Nature, I can do that.
Or pollution dust.
That's
Give me
another
a
thing.
nature check.
Never considered. Let me just reopen my character sheet. My computer is dying slowly. I need to replace my processor
Because
badly.
that picture you posted to Discord implies a lot of smoke and crap in the air.
Yes,
all
actually
that
saying
all
that.
that settles.
Mm-hmm.
Nature. There it is. I'm trained in that.
22.
Hey!
This does not look to be house dust. It's not like stone dust for industrial dust either. Looks to be
To which my next question is there any evidence of explosions? You said there was a bone fragment and a large amount of dust.
Hold on. Looking at this, it looks more organic. So as 7's kind of picking up this, like scooping up this handful of dust and dirt, it looks, yeah, it looks organic. If it was like almost like bone dust. Something else you guys are gonna notice is Bristol's gonna kind of point out this cloud of dust kind of moving over the city. The only wind you guys are gonna feel is from the door behind you. Brahm, you said you're looking for like tracks or movement or anything?
Yep.
You're not gonna really notice anything right off the bat. You're not seeing any tracks. No scrapes. No sign of fight. Nothing.
Not even evidence of this being like a well-traveled path beforehand.
I mean, it's almost one of those, like, as you kind of, you can see where the, like, traffic would have come through here, like a wagon rut, something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
you have to kind of brush the dust and dirt away to get to it.
Can I discern anything about that dust cloud way up ahead?
I'd say even just kind of spotting it, it's almost, it's not even necessarily that you're seeing it directly. It's almost, because it's so far out, you're just kind of picking up the movement of it. It doesn't. It's far enough off in the distance. It's kind of out of your dark vision range, but you can just kind of see the movement. And you can tell that it's kind of moving smooth enough and regular enough. It's probably not like an animal or something like that. Or it's not like a
Was
cloud
that
of
farther
bats.
into the dungeon or out in the city?
Out in the city. Or underground in the city.
Rissel's gonna stop and he's gonna hold up his hand. And he's gonna whisper back over his shoulder. There's something up ahead. From this point forward, we need to be absolutely certain we do not make any noise.
Seven will hold up his finger, or at least assume he is, because he can't quite see, and then hold up his wand. And sort of tilt his head questioningly, like, you want me to do that? Where is it?
Dark vision's third
No,
one?
not Dark Viz. Pass without trace. There it is. All I hope is that ashes from a burned leaf. Okay, picks up some of the ashes for what's on the floor.
But everybody have to stick within 30 feet of you.
Only when I cast it.
For the duration,
It's like,
each
guys,
creature
huddle up.
within 30 feet of you.
So it was effect continued onto them.
Nope.
Oh, I'll stay within 30 feet.
No, it
mate.
is. Like, for the duration, you have a plus 10. But it lasts for up to the hour.
Yeah, and like the Sheiks was saying, Rockmon did put tireless on everyone near the end of last session, so you guys are sped up a little bit too.
So yeah, everyone is spoopy for now. I'd have to double check if Dark Viz is concentration.
I don't remember.
So just to be clear, we got to stay within 30 feet of 7 in order
For the
to.
duration, each creature you choose, including you, has plus 10 stealth checks. It can't be right. It doesn't state that you have to stay within 30 feet. I choose each creature.
Yeah.
Kind of like how
I mean, unless the party
pilots
plans to
work.
split up, I imagine you guys are going to be within 30 feet of each other.
Dark vision is not concentration.
Sweet.
The only thing that's not going to be within 30 feet is my owl.
Right.
He's fine.
So, you guys are heading into the city.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead and roll that stealth.
Yep.
This is 25.
Or 4.
Woof.
Okay.
Naren beat Christians just on the roll.
And then there's the plus 10s. Where is it? I've only been gone a week. How have I forgotten how to use this sheet? There it is. 27.
Okay. So pretty good rolls overall. Yeah.
We're all above 20.
Yeah. So you guys are gonna head into the city?
Yeah.
Sneaky, sneaky.
Again, kind of going into the city. Are you, or do you have any particular direction you're gonna go, or?
We can't
Bristol's
see.
heading in the direction of where he saw that movement.
Okay. Kind of heading towards the cloud. So again, kind of as you head through this, or as you head through the city, it's eerie. I mean, doors are all closed, shutters are closed, torches are all out. You're not seeing any signs of light.
Am I seeing any more bone fragments or anything like that?
Every now and then you'll kind of come across different pieces. They don't seem to be from the same body at the very least. Different sizes, different shapes. You do come across, like I said, single pieces here and there, scattered.
Is there any further sign of a fight or an explosion? Anything that would have vaporized this population?
Oh god, is this like a nuclear testing site?
Maybe.
All that dust you guys are breathing in, just all that radiation, just.
Well, I'm already dead, so I should be fine.
Well,
So am I. It's great.
are you checking this stuff just out on the streets, or?
I'm checking. I'm looking around, seeing if I can see any blast marks, things of that nature.
And you're just doing this as you're walking through the city?
Yeah.
Give me a perception check. I don't think, or maybe a survival? Because I don't think that's quite investigation yet.
Woof.
Hey.
Nice. 25. So, as you're looking around, you're not going to see, like, no magical explosion marks. No nuclear shadows on the walls.
Damn.
Is the dust particularly heavy around where there are bones?
It doesn't seem to be. With a 25, Nick, you're going to notice... Bristol's going to notice two things. One, you're going to see kind of almost eddies in every now and then in this dust. And like if you've ever been out in like a sandy area when dust is light, like wind blows across it, you get that little bit of a twirl.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see this kind of mini dust devil in the dirt, but you're not going to feel the breeze that caused it. Eventually, you're also going to find this almost husk of a body. Not hollowed or out or anything, or nothing like that, but it's almost shriveled.
Desiccated.
Like if you took a mummy and unwrapped it, what would be left inside? You're going to find that probably about, I'd say, a third to halfway through. Like if you're walking straight across this city.
And I'm assuming it's door size.
Give me a medicine check.
Okay.
medicine to know if it's a door-sized door?
Dwarf,
Dwarf.
Dwarf-sized door.
It's a door-sized body. Yep. 7. So roll to 7. Looking at this thing, this body looks so shriveled and shrunken. It's hard to really tell what race it is.
Can 7 have a go?
If Ristel would point it out to him.
Would Ristle point it out to him?
Or, yeah, Ristel.
Neat.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if he would just consider this a passing curiosity or if. Yeah, I guess he would kind of wave to get the attention of the people behind him and then kind of point at the body.
Yeah, 7 will come over and inspect, because this place is freaking spoopy. I want to know why. And
Hold on. A 12. Yeah, even with a 12, I mean, this body is so shrunken. It looks like the size of this body. This is almost halfling size. This body. It is shrunken so much. As far as what race it was before, or what it was before, it's hard to say. It's humanoid for sure. But that's about all you can really tell.
Regarding those eddies, is it just
there we go.
is it just an occasional thing every now and again? Or is it increasing with frequency as we get further in?
I'd say it's almost one of those, like, you just kind of notice it out of the corner of your eye. Like, you guys, everybody's on edge already so much. The slightest movement kind of catches your eye, and you're gonna see it kind of maybe like every 3 blocks, just a little.
So my headset died. What was the result of the medicine?
It
We
looks to
don't
be
know
about
shit.
a body. The body is shrunken to about halfling size, but it is
Okay.
humanoid.
All right.
But that's about the best you can tell.
There was no identifying beard then.
No.
While they're doing that, would it be possible for me to have my owl like scout inside of buildings?
If you can find one that has the windows open.
Well, maybe not like go inside, but like look through like windows.
Does the body have any bones in it? I mean, you can cut it open and find out. Why is my internet such crap today? What the fuck?
What?
My internet seems to be freaking out today, and I'm not sure why.
Rockman wants to make soup.
Bones in it. Between the joints. So trying to even move this thing, like I said, it's very mummified in effect. Like,
Moves all as one unit.
yeah, it's almost one of those, like, if you try to bend it at the joint, the arm just kind of breaks open. There do seem to be bones inside of it. But it is
Christian,
very
how well
much-
did your body come back from rigor mortis?
When Ristel makes it up to like an intersection or a cross street,
Mhm.
he's gonna stop there in the center and kind of just sit there for a few minutes, just keeping an eye on everything around him, watching for any more of those movements.
Okay. Naren, your owl, I would say you have to kind of look around a little bit, but you'd eventually your owl would be able to eventually find one that was either had the windows open or open enough that you could look in. inside, getting inside. Your owl gets inside of a building, probably about 4 blocks over from where you're at, kind of off to the side. Inside, you're going to see, again, that thick layer of dust over everything. It seems to be a little thinner inside the building. You go exploring inside. Your owl will eventually kind of go into like one of the bedrooms, and you'll find a pair of bodies that seems to be kind of mummified, laying in the bed.
Are they holding hands? Is it adorable?
That is sad. Oh, come on.
Yeah. It's Travis, and I know Travis. He would think of it.
They're not holding hands.
Good.
But then they move, and then they're holding hands.
Aww.
No.
Zombie love.
Uh,
So Ristel's gonna kind of stop at this intersection, right?
Yeah, and he's just kind of slowly panning back and forth wherever there's an opening, just watching for any more of those eddies.
I'm gonna kind of quietly whisper to Bristol, saying, "There's more of those shriveled creatures in the houses."
Rissel's gonna whisper back as quietly as possible. It's not them that concern me, it's what else might be moving in the air.
Is there any rats or anything? Like, this was a cave. Normally something would have occupied.
We haven't come across any living creatures except for those voidlings.
No bats, no
the
rats.
the voidlings were not in the city.
Right, but I'm saying.
And are they living? I mean.
But I'm just saying, like, since we left
Mhm.
the town, we haven't come across anything living.
Well, I mean, on the mountain path, you would have seen like normal wildlife, kind of off in the woods, things like that. We always kind of graze over that. But since you've gotten inside the gates, you haven't seen anything.
The only movement is Ristel saw a dust cloud moving.
Yeah.
Super
So,
spoopy.
Still moving through this city. I'd say by now you're right about that 1/3 to halfway mark into this city, and Ristel's kind of stopping at this intersection, and you're going to be closer to this cloud. This cloud seems to be kind of almost blowing over the top of this city. And every now and then, again, kind of, the cloud seems to be closer, but still just a little outside of your vision range. Closer that you can't quite see detail of it, but again, it's this thick dust cloud. Looking around every now and then, you'll see just a little dust cloud kind of, or a little mini dust devil kind of in the road. Give me, I'd say, yeah, this would be a point that you could give me an investigation, because you're looking for these clouds specifically.
Investigation or perception?
Give me an investigation.
Yeah.
I see why you wanted the perception.
I don't know why. It was just out of curiosity.
Looking at these clouds, you'll kind of see these every now and then, and you'll kind of start to piece it together. These little mini dust devils, they seem to almost blow in the direction of this dust cloud.
Are there any loose rocks on this road?
I'm sure you'd be able to find pebbles or something like that. Yeah.
I'd like to pick one up, and the next time I see one of those dust devils start to move,
Mhm.
I want to whip that pebble at the space above it.
All right. Give me a dex check. You're throwing this rock at it. 18. So you'll kind of sit there and you'll pick up this little rock.
Wouldn't be roll to hit.
Well, because it's a thrown weapon. Basically, that's a dex check. An attack with dex is just a dex check, just like an attack with strength is a strength check.
I am not proficient in pebbles.
So
Did you not grow up by a pond, skipping stones?
you'll see this. You'll kind of sit there and you'll wait, and you'll see one of these little eddies kind of off to the side, and you'll whip this rock at it, and it'll actually basically just kind of soar just above it, an inch or two above this little twister, and it'll kind of sail through it, and like the wind from the rock passing, it'll kind of disperse this dust devil a little bit, kind of blow it off to the side.
You killed it. There's 1/4 hit point.
Is there any kind of shift, any kind of completely aside from this little dust devil? Is there any kind of
Reaction.
sure, anything above that?
Not that you can see, no. Just the rock kind of sailing past it and dispersing it.
Okay, Arista would continue on then.
Anyone else?
Just
Well,
looking
Mongo's
around.
got to pick up a few pebbles in case there's other things he can throw stuff at.
Oh god.
Okay. Would you guys be looking for, aside from just like investigating the streets, would we be looking for anything or any place or anything at all? Or just passing through?
I can think of 10 different things, but none that 7 would do.
We might
Unless
want
he
to
sees
start like
something living.
Yeah. Unless
yeah, we might want to like go through houses at some point, see if we can find like oh dear diary, this is the day everyone in the city died.
Dear diary, the LHC is reported to create black holes. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Jesus Christ, that's a dated reference as well.
There's a website. I want to say it's like, has the Large Hadron Collider destroyed the universe yet? And like that's the name of the website. And you go to it and it just says, no.
Nope.
So
What was it? One of the best like shit posts I ever saw was it was a Windows versus Mac debate. It just said Mac used by coffee lovers in Cafe Nero who want to write books, and then Large Hadron Collider run by Windows. It's fair play.
Actually, most of the machines are Linux.
It's even better. It's even better.
So
But carrying on.
you guys are heading further into the city.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
Like I said, you're going to see largely, you do see a lot of houses and things like that, a lot of homes. Every now and then you'll come across like a smithing station or something resembling like almost like a dwarven police station or a guard station.
Anything anything that looks like it might be an armory or
Yeah, guard
a
station.
military type.
Yeah. You'd see like the guard stations and such. Yeah.
Mongo's going to gesture with his axe at that one of the nearest ones and indicate that maybe we should go investigate.
Rockmon, yes, you do see torches. They are extinguished.
Or not lit.
Yeah.
The city is most definitely not lit, fam.
It's not woke.
How are we going to know if it's 420? Or underground?
Trust me, Bristol knows.
Is he ready to light up and blaze it?
He tried that before; it didn't work out.
Oh, that's how the injury is. It's alright, don't worry. 7 will light it for you now.
Void dust. Oh, you didn't get that 7.
You just get a battle axe.
Oh shit, we didn't explain that to 7.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's little tangent for explaining void dust. When the voidlings died, immediately after they died, they kind of shriveled up into a much more condensed mass, little black tendrils,
Yeah, like
kind of condensed,
like
and then
a torched husk.
Rockman wanted to collect some of it for possible future spell components, and as soon as he touched it, they basically disintegrated. So he was borrowed some bottles from Bristol and filled up a couple of bottles with this ash, and found a green gem and shards of green gem, and then Bristol decided that he wanted to snort the void dust.
No. That's not exactly the way it
Ron
happened.
was like, let's experiment. Someone snort this.
Yeah, I offered people compensation for snorting the void dust, and Ristal was fucking down. So I
Okay.
gave him 30 gold worth of gems.
And nothing happened.
That's the bad part. Nothing happened.
Now I just
Yeah.
picture you guys with a dagger just going.
No, I just had like a palm full. I just shoved it right in my face.
Yeah.
Got a sore throat, I think.
So then Ristle just took another bottle, filled that up, and he's going to sell it to some mark later on.
For like a gold piece, and then Rockman will find somebody that needs a spell component for like 50 gold.
Oh, hell no. He's selling that for 150 gold. This is high grade shit that he's going to be marketing. And he's going to be out of town by the time they figure out any different.
This right here, this is
Rex
what I
the
picture.
cokehead. Let's see.
Who knew Risto was a con man?
Please, man.
I forgot about this T-Rex until now. It's great.
Okay then.
That's why I now picture his Ristal, just an elf.
It's not what I expected when I clicked on that video of a dog.
Okay, so much for the tangent.
Okay. So you guys are gonna, or Mongo's pointing over to head to this guard shack, right? There's more.
Sure.
Or, well, not shack, but this guard building of sorts.
Station.
Constabulary.
Mm-hmm. Anybody going with him?
Yeah.
Ristle's going to kind of like arch an eyebrow and just like, shrug as to what are we doing there.
Well, I'm not going to speak because he told me to be quiet.
So we'll say Mongo's going into the guard check. Owl's kind of off on its own. Anyone else going with him?
Yeah, promise.
Okay.
7 would, if 7 saw him going, because...
Yeah.
7, although knowing this is a dwarf city and hating that, is still curious. Fuck! He wants to know.
I'm gonna stay outside and just keep watch.
Okay.
Yeah, Rissel's keeping an eye out for any significant movement.
So heading into this building. Everybody give me perception checks as they're heading in. Rockmon, Ristel, and Aaron for outside. 7 Brahm and Mongo for inside.
Almost a crit.
I am consistently bad tonight.
Did I do one separate for me and one for my owl?
Sure. Let me check something here.
Working on the hypothetical that if there was an attack on the city, that a constabulary would be a line of defense. Does it look like there was like signs of combat in the constabulary?
Give me a second. I'm looking for my notes. Okay. For signs of defense inside, you said?
Yeah, signs of a battle. Torn up furniture, etc., etc.
Missing weapons.
So inside. You guys are going to kind of look around inside. Let's see. 12, 16, 17, 18, 10, 21, 16. Okay. You guys are kind of looking around inside. You guys are going to end up seeing... Like I said, the windows look like... These windows look as if they were closed, and if somebody tried to board them up, or somebody boarded them up, and then almost as if somebody tried to shove rags around these windowsills. Inside, you're still gonna see almost one of the like a jail cell in there, a couple of cells in there, and there's gonna be a pair of bodies, or a body in each one, also kind of shrunken and shriveled. You'll actually see a couple of bodies outside. So total, you're looking about 4 bodies. 2 in the cages, 2 out. But as far as... aside from the windows being boarded and ragged closed... No.
Okay. In a very low voice, he's going to discuss with Seven and Brahm that Mongo gets the impression that there was something from outside trying to get in, and they were defending against it, and like air or gas or cloud or words to that effect, because of the rags.
I'm trying to think, how advanced is medicine in this world that we understand what, like, bacteria and viruses are?
I wouldn't say no. Not really. In a world with magic and cure disease and cure wounds?
But this is a world that we have, like, spells like, what is it? Choking something?
Choking smog and stuff like that, yeah, but those are visible. I'm more thinking, like, would 7 be able to go, okay, maybe there was...
I mean,
And we
as far as...
And we also have vampires that go gaseous.
I mean, to the point
Yeah.
of, like, bacteria and viruses, that wouldn't really be realized yet, but, like, diseases and infections, yes.
We know they are a thing, we just don't know the cause.
Right.
So we couldn't make the logical jump that maybe they were trying to keep something out. But the choking, like, dust idea isn't awful.
So inside,
So if,
are you guys kind of like looking around inside as well, or are you just like checking out the bodies,
Yeah.
looking if there's any loot?
Yeah, checking it out.
yes.
Okay.
Anything that stands out, I suppose. And also loot.
You will find like a guard's, something kind of like a guard's ledger. You find a couple of books, things like that.
I'm gonna read through them. Like if the books are just like tomes or whatever, like history books, something like that, I'll just skip those. But if anything seems to be like if the ledger has any information that was like dated or anything, I'm gonna try to look for something that might tell us when this happened, or possibly what happened.
So, yeah, I mean, opened up the ledger, you'd see the almost the standard guard's bookkeeping. Gimli was arrested for drunken public again.
I'm sure there are a lot of those.
Yeah, that's a pretty common name. And a common occurrence, yeah. Just like the standard kind of guard stuff. It looks like the two individuals that were in this cage. Looks like they were probably arrested. Arrested for kind of like a drunken disorderly almost. Things got a little heated. They were at a tavern. A fight broke out. Guards showed up, broke up the fight. They would actually, one would be named Gokun Magma Cloak and Sardic Jade Forge.
Fancy names.
Mm-hmm.
Fancy dwarven names.
It looks to be dated about 13 months ago. Just a little over a year ago.
About on time frame with what we expected. Or from what the rumors said when like the gates supposedly closed. About that same time frame.
A little after.
Yeah.
Rumors are gates closed about 18 months. A year and a half ago. This looks to have been dated about a little over a year ago.
Okay, I point this out to Seven and Mongo if he gets it.
There's my calendar. Hold on. I will give you an exact date.
Oh boy.
Looks to have been about the 18th of Goldflower, just the month before. Currently,
and that's the last one?
That's the last entry in the guard ledger.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. You guys are currently, I think, on the 22nd of Low Summer, but I will double check that.
And they're like they're probably entries for like every single day.
Sorry, the 23rd of Low Summer you guys are currently on.
But are there entries for like every day? Is it that frequent that it's written in?
I mean, for the most part, yeah. Even there's a lot of the entries are kind of John came on duty, nothing to report kind of thing. Just kind of checking in.
Okay, then yeah, I'll point this information out and say this was about 5 months after the rumors say that the gates closed, and this is the last date that the guards wrote anything down, so I would guess this is the date that it happened.
So it happened quick.
Or quick enough that guard duty stopped being a top priority. Bookkeeping, that is.
Just saying there's no...
Go ahead.
Not in character. There was no escalation. It was like, whoosh, it happened.
Seven, what are you
Possibly.
doing this whole time?
Honestly, someone's trying to like inspect the bodies just to see if there's any telling signs beyond, like, was it starvation that got him? Was it infection or illness?
Give me a medicine
Invasion of
check.
myconids.
Like, did the Borg just overlook them? What up?
Give me a medicine check.
City was overrun with purple mushrooms.
13.
Well, I'm nothing if not consistent.
I'll actually say, I'd say you're probably looking at both of these bodies, right?
Yeah.
Do you want it to be one for each, or do you just want to roll separate for each?
See, I'm biased. Can I just have advantage from both rather than rolling twice?
Well, that's where that one roll would, if you do advantage, it's just like checking on each body. So
That's up to you, dude. Because I have a very biased opinion of yes, of course I want to reroll. Because 13 isn't great. 13 is perfectly average.
well, do you want to take? So that's checking out the first body. Do you want to take 16 on the second body, or do you want to re-roll for the second body?
I'll take a 16.
Okay. Mongo, kind of looking over Seven's shoulder. Yep, it's a corpse.
Yep, dead body.
I imagine Mongo kind of looks at it and he's like, looks kind of like a raisin. We used to have those in the ship. Well, big for a raisin. But...
What kind of? Imagine the size of the grape. That's the raisin.
So, Seven looking at these
That'd
bodies.
be a Mongo-sized raisin.
The size of Mongo.
So Seven looking at these bodies, kind of going back and forth. And it doesn't look to have been starvation. Excuse me. Oof.
Extreme desiccation.
It's not starvation or anything like that. Whatever this was, it hit fast. Let's see here.
One of the bodies was caught in the posture of raking a cup across the bars. Dirty screws!
Yeah, looking at this, it's almost as if it was drained. Not of blood or anything like that, because you almost as you're kind of like poking at it, and you almost like poke a hole, and there's still almost like a tar consistency. There's still fluid in it, but it's dried out, concentrated,
Dehydrated.
as if all the very energy was just drained out of these bodies.
Well,
Sounds
see,
like
now I'm
mass
picturing
horde
Fellhounds. Christian, go first.
It sounds like a mass horde wilting. Everything is just dried up.
See, I'm picturing Fellhounds from Warcraft. Like these weird dog-like creatures that just come up, and the second they touch you, they drain all life and magic out of you. Kind of like Rogue from X-Men, actually. But still, like, almost dehydration, but rapid dehydration. Ah.
Brom, you will eventually, kind of thumbing through these books, like I said, you'll find kind of this ledger and a couple of other books. A book on dwarven criminal science. You will come across not quite like necessarily a full-up journal, but almost like written over the top of one of these pages, or kind of like written in the notes section of a book, is as if somebody's trying to write down real quick. what the hell? And kind of looking this over, you'll kind of look this book over. You'll find these notes in the back of it, and kind of reading through it. It looks like, like I said, not quite a full up journal, but it's certainly like a journal entry. Kind of reading it over, looks to have been from probably one of the bodies that are out here. Doesn't look to have been a guard that was writing it. More probably just a smith or one of the civilians. And it's gonna tell how this time it was different. They locked the gates. It was a standard protocol. Lock the gates. In the final stages of testing, they wouldn't tell us what it was, but whatever it was, something went wrong. Whatever it is, it got into the houses. Almost as if it drained the life from the very bodies in front of us. I've holed up here. We've tried to block the windows. Hopefully it's enough. I don't know how long we're going to be able to stay here. There's not much food. If anybody reads this, please just get out. And it's going to be signed Glomed Runback.
What a coincidence that we just happened to walk into a building that one of the last survivors was in.
Let's see. Outside, Naren, Rockmon, and Wistel. 18, 17, 16. Okay. You guys are gonna kind of keep watch, looking around. Again, just every so often you'll see this little dust eddy kind of off a little ways. Eventually, you guys are going to start to... I imagine Ristel's especially on edge watching this cloud. And it does seem to kind of be moving... If you didn't know better, you'd think it was moving towards you. Not super fast, just as if the wind shifted directions.
And there is no wind.
Not that you guys can tell, no.
How far away is it?
I'd say by now you're looking probably about the 100, 120 mark. Like I said, just about double your dark vision range. You can still kind of see it, but it's tough to really make out a form.
My owl has 120 dark vision.
And your owl's off somewhere exploring still, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, your owl can definitely kind of make out this. If you're gonna move your owl closer to it, yeah, it's. I don't know. Would you move your owl closer to it?
Yeah, because they're still like pointing it out and
Okay.
whatnot.
So, moving your owl closer to it. Naren, give me an investigation check. as you're kind of looking at this thing, kind of through your owl, so you're not going to see any. It's not a swarm. It straight up seems to be a cloud of dust, but you're going to see bigger bits in it, or bigger pieces. Maybe a large pebble or something, not just dust.
Pebbles don't fly.
And these are, I mean, they're like sand-sized pebbles, so they're not like hand size or fist size. I guess that's more of a rock. Let's see. Okay.
Is it still moving towards us?
It does seem to be, yeah. I'd say at the rate that it's moving, you've got a couple of minutes before it's above you.
You gonna let the people in the building know?
I'd say this is all kind of happening as the guys are inside the building. Eventually, unless Brahm, Seven, and Manga are going to do anything else inside, that they would eventually head out.
Yeah, I want to share the information I've learned with the rest of the party.
Okay.
Is my microphone still making weird noises?
No, it doesn't seem to
No,
be.
you're coming in louder, but
Yeah, it's
Okay,
pretty
I
quiet.
see it flashing, and I'm trying not to make any noise, so don't want to drive you crazy. If that thing, when that thing gets within about 60 feet,
Mhm.
I want to do something.
Okay. I'd say kind of as the group is coming out, would anybody point out to the cloud, or point out the cloud is coming out, or coming towards you
I
guys,
mean,
above you guys?
Yes.
when
in
Brahm
your direction?
starts to unleash dialogue, Bram is gonna like motion at the cloud and whisper, "Tell us as we move."
Maybe we should get inside a building. This text that I found seems to indicate that there was some sort of gas or something that came in through the buildings even though they were closed and locked up, and drained the life out of them. If it's that, we should avoid it. I don't know if it is like sentient and will see us and come down at us, but I don't want to play that risk. Perhaps just inside until it passes?
Then
Going inside probably isn't going to help us. We should stay mobile.
inside did not help anything.
That we've seen.
I scouted inside of a building. There are shriveled up dead bodies in there.
Well, it didn't help in the long term, certainly.
Buildings aren't safe. Better to avoid this entirely and move around it. And try to be as quiet as possible. There's no way that's just a dust cloud. There's no wind in here.
Alright, let's move.
So you guys are heading out?
Yeah, Rista will start tacking a path like out of the way of this cloud's forward momentum.
Okay. Like I said, you guys are right about halfway through the city, so go ahead and pick a direction. Back towards the gate, further in.
Further in, I'm thinking.
From what direction is dust cloud coming from?
Let's see. We'll say we'll do this. If okay,
We've been heading inside, and it's up ahead of us.
so if you guys started here, I'd say that cloud would be would have been when you first came in. It would have been like over in that area, and you guys more or less came in and are right about there. So it's kind of more to the side of you, or roughly north of you.
And that's not the scale.
No.
So we're not 10 feet away from it.
No. Right now you're looking probably about that 75 to 100 foot distance. It's still kind of up above you, but it's moving in your direction.
I'm thinking we keep heading in the direction that we're heading.
Okay.
Try to maintain at least as much distance as we've got now.
So you guys are gonna head further in.
Yep.
And going. We'll do blue. We'll change it. Going something like that way. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Heading further
Let's
in.
try not to get boxed in.
Inside the box. So as you go further in, again, this is not to scale, not the shape of the city. It's just a rough representation, very rough. Kind of moving in, further in, you'll start to see kind of another gate to the far side of the city. So it looks to be a lot heavier fortified. Several bars, several locks. Also, the buildings around you are going to start to become more fortified as well.
And the gate is closed.
Seems to be closed, yep.
Now, have we passed through an area where the dust and debris seems to be thicker? Like any kind of epicenter?
Not the way you guys are going, no.
Okay.
It seems to be pretty smooth all the way around you. You do notice, like I said, that those eddies seem to be going towards wherever that cloud is at.
And just so I'm covering on my bases, I don't suppose the dust has gotten any thicker the further we've gone in.
I'm not sure how that is different than what you just asked. You mean the dust cloud or the dust around you?
Like, has it been getting thicker as we've gone in?
Like the layer of it?
Yeah.
Not particularly. It seems actually pretty even everywhere you go.
Well, either this is a big ass explosion from further in, or there wasn't really an explosion at all. Something else happened.
Or the dust cloud in the past was a lot more energetic.
So going further into the back gate.
So the eddy has moved away from us at this point.
Nope. Well, I mean, the cloud has, as you guys kind of move along, it looks as if the cloud kind of settled more above the guard building that you were just at.
What happened to the eddy? I thought there was an eddy that was 100 feet away. Was that the actual
That was
dust,
the cloud.
big dust cloud?
That was a cloud.
Ah, okay, sorry. I had to run out and
Oh, that's
tell
fine.
my dog to be quiet.
So you guys are going to continue further in? Or go into that back gate?
Bristle's gonna motion for the others to keep going on ahead. He's gonna start making his way toward the cloud to try and get a better look at it.
Okay.
Rockmon's probably going to go with him.
Mongo's going to keep an eye. It's going to accompany, but it's going to keep an eye out for for things that look like it might be access to lower levels.
So, who's going forward and who's going back?
Well, if we're splitting the party, I'll go forward.
If Bristol sees people following him, he's going to stop and whisper, "If this thing is following us, the fewer people that approach it, the better. No offense, especially you, big man."
Rockmon will just say quietly that, well, if it decides to do something that unexpected, it might be to our advantage to be able to attack it or ward it off from a distance. I could potentially help do that. But if you want to go by yourself, that's fine.
If this thing is what took out the city, I don't think attacking it is going to do us any good.
One quick question, Travis. Have we seen any gear-forged bodies?
No.
Then Seven is going to make an assumption. And he's just going to say, if it's what's been draining the life out of the fleshy bodies, I should be able to approach it.
Everyone give me a perception check while you guys are kind of deciding who's going to go where.
Boop. Aha!
Brahm, do so with advantage. Oh, good thing you did with advantage. Rockmon, Naren, and
Oh, we're all? I thought it was just the people.
Me too. Sorry.
unless you guys already walked off. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Let's see. Seven, Brahm, Naren. You guys gonna hear this almost whispering sound. So hungry.
Well, that's spoopy.
Where does it sound like that's coming
Somebody
from?
forgot to feed the dog.
It seems to be
Sentient.
coming from the direction you came from. Roughly.
Oh. I got the shadow.
So the direction the cloud's in now?
Yes. But
I have a theory, so I'm going to walk back in that direction and look for a source of this voice, presuming that it's not the cloud. Yep.
so, how far back are you gonna walk?
Phew. Well, that was just like a whisper, so probably not too far.
Okay.
A few hundred feet at most.
Give me another perception check with advantage. Again, you're gonna hear just this.
Lord Balak.
Someone get this guy Snickers.
Do I sound like closer to it at all, or does the direction that it was coming from change
It's still coming from the direction you guys came from, kind of that dust cloud
towards the
area.
cloud?
Yeah.
All right, I'm abandoning this line of thought. All right, guys, I think the cloud is hungry. That's spooky.
Let's take a quick break. I've got 30 after right now, so we're a little early on break, but not too bad.
It's not the end of the world.
What do you think? 15 minutes? Come back at 45?
Yeah.
Yep.
I like that you say it's not the end of the world.
It's just the end of the city.
We're not dead yet.
Yeah.
All right, so we're all back. Just,
Yeah,
a minute.
if it's an energy drainer,
Hmm.
it's either really susceptible or eats it for lunch.
May
So-
find out.
Like I said, coming back now. Now, Brahm has kind of left the group while everybody's kind of discussing how they're going to split up. Brahm's kind of wandered off towards this cloud a little bit. Seven's followed him. Brahm can just make out that this cloud whispering food.
Speaking to him.
And then
Yes.
Brahm turns back to Seven and points his finger at him and uses the message cantrip and asks, "Hey, it's whispering. Should I use message and try to talk to it?"
Can you put the message on the other side of it from us?
I don't think that's how this works.
So it's not the. It's not a location spell.
No. You're thinking more like minor illusion.
Or,
I'm going to use like
or ventriloquism.
six messages in a row to just explain the text of message.
So you're reading the spell of message to Seven.
Yeah, I take out my notes from the first time I learned this, and I was like, alright, so you point a finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message. The target, and only the target, hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. So it's like telepathy.
Yeah.
He's not going to know where I am, he's just going to know that I'm talking to him.
Okay.
I don't want to assume the cloud's gender. It will hear me,
I mean,
probably.
it's complaining about its hunger, so odds are it's either a fat bloke or, the girlfriend you're going on a date with.
So
Well,
what's
you
your
know-
message going to be?
Is there a word limit on this?
Not really.
No.
I don't think so.
Nope. I get within 120 feet of it, and I say, "Hey, mate, you sound really hungry. Are you okay? Do you need help?"
I will note, to get within 120 feet of this, I'd say you guys are probably about 3/4 of the way across the city, about closer to the gate than you are or closer to the inside gate than you are the back gate.
That is okay with me.
Okay. So to get 120 feet from this thing, you'll effectively have to split off from the party.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Seven, are you following?
Hells yes.
Okay.
I will regret
And
this
are you
decision.
guys like sneaking off, or are you just like walking off, or?
Oh, yeah, sneaking.
Okay.
Sneaking.
And they were never heard from again.
Okay.
Kinda, yeah.
So you're gonna message this. You're gonna send a message to this cloud. Wow. Just 454.
Is that a good roll or a bad roll?
We
Not
didn't
good
roll
for
so
you.
good for us.
So you're gonna message this cloud, or you're gonna message this cloud, and
What's its text tone?
as you do, what's your dark vision? 120?
60.
No, yeah, so 60. Okay. I didn't think it was 120.
Yeah, only my owl is 120 as far as I know.
Right.
Don't think any of us have superior dark vision.
No.
Just the owl. You're gonna see this cloud kind of coalesces a little bit. There's something kind of forms down towards the ground level, but it's a little outside of your vision range. So you can't really tell what it is. You can just that this cloud seems to be kind of forming in on itself. And just that same Seven and Brahm, give me perception checks.
Leaning across.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Nelly.
Hey!
Oh,
Me!
Oh,
Wow!
it's your boy.
Double nat.
Yeah. Again, Brahm, you're gonna hear it both in your head, the response to the message and verbally. 7, you're gonna hear verbally. It's just. Food. So hungry. And it's gonna sound. Okay. Give me an insight check. 15.
Both of us?
Yeah.
Hang on, let me reach.
You got all settled in the bed and forgot to grab your mouse.
No, I'm currently stood up and packing my bag for work
Me
tomorrow.
too. Okay.
The cloud is not lying.
He doesn't act on
Whatever it
food.
is that's responding, it almost sounds in a really bad sense. It almost sounds hangry. Like you can hear this guttural rage just kind of behind this. Like, give me food now.
Yeah, so a spoiled brat.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yeah, but more angry.
Not going to break into song, is it?
No.
Are we talking like The Wire from that one Doctor Who episode?
No.
The lady in the TV?
Little House of Horrors.
No, I'm talking, is the voice like that? Because I know Travis has watched Doctor Who.
I would have to go back and watch that episode because I don't remember. So.
Okay.
You said it was like coalescing on the ground?
Mhm.
Is it like forming some other kind of entity, or is it just like tornado tunneling?
I'd say it's a little out of your vision range to be able to tell for sure. Unless you're going to get closer.
It's a pissed off Lord Blaylock.
I'm gonna get a little bit closer. Just like, so it's on the edge of my dark vision.
Now, this change in the cloud's behavior,
Mhm.
is that noticeable to anyone else?
I think Naren's
would-
the only one that's got vision on it.
You guys can give me a perception check. Whoever would be kind of... Or you guys are back kind of discussing still? Or you can give me perception checks. Because you guys are a lot farther off. 15.
What about my owl?
I also like that they didn't notice us leave.
Yeah, but it's been a while, and at least Ristel, he would still be trying to keep an eye on this thing every now and again, just to make sure it's not still following us.
Right.
I think the Fey Owl flew into a pole or something.
I'd say like it'd probably be something like Naren kind of called the Fey Owl back to her. Rahman? And Naren? Or unless Naren was going through her Fey Owl only. Okay. And Rahman. The sheets. I've only got...
Trying to get there.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I was going to say, I only hear crackly paper, but... Then you sound. And then you make sound. 18. I'd say kind of off in the distance, with the extra distance of you guys. Shimmy. You're going to notice the cloud does get a... Not... you can't really tell that it's coalescing or like that, but you are starting to see that it's almost thinning. The bits that you can see kind of above the buildings, it does seem to be kind of thinning out.
Yay, it's dying.
Looking back in this thing's direction, do we see Brahman 7?
I would say no, because it's not like there's a main road that goes from one gate to the other in the middle of the city. It's still kind of a city, so you're going to have turns and weaves and corners and things like that. I'd say 7 and Brahm, because they're going back towards it, they would have been out of sight by now. Unless you guys...
Well, it's obvious they're not here now.
Yeah, and it would have taken them a few minutes to get all the way back, so... Would the group have turned to go back to it, or would they just stayed where they're at? because Seven and Braum didn't bother to mention, yeah, we're gonna go back. But I don't know.
We're gonna go take a closer look.
I stayed back.
Ristel's gonna look to the rest of them and say, head on to the gate, try and see if you can figure out a way inside. I'm going to go. They must have gone to get a closer look at this thing. I'm going to go and get them. Because whatever that thing is doing over there is probably not good.
Find a way to get inside. We are inside.
No, it's
To get past the
in
gate.
through that gate.
Oh, outside.
Further in
Does that gate lead? Yeah, is there just not a barrier further in?
to get past that other gate. Yeah, you're inside the mountain. So anyway, Ristel is gonna head back towards the other two yahoos.
Yeah,
Rude.
Thus,
and I'm still trying to maintain as low a profile as I possibly can.
Right.
Whilst muttering under his breath, fucking bastards. Left, right.
And Braum is closing in on this, whatever this is, so he can try to make out what it is, right?
yep.
Okay.
7 is following.
Okay. I'd imagine, Rockman, you'd kind of come around. I imagine they wouldn't have been too far ahead of you before you decided to kind of split off. So you'd be a little bit ways back. And maybe you're kind of coming around the corner as Braum's heading towards this thing.
I mean, Ristel. You said Rockman.
Yeah, sorry, Ristel. Braum, as you get closer to this, you kind of get close enough to make it out, and it looks to be this kind of smaller creature. Only about 3, maybe 4 feet tall. A humanoid. You can almost see. There we go. Looks like that. Boop. You can kind of see the dust itself is kind of coalescing into this. Like I said, it's kind of a humanoid form. Almost. I don't know. Almost ghoul-like. But definitely smaller. Like I say, only about 3 to 4 feet.
Alright, I get the fuck out.
Let me see something here.
It rolls perception, sees us both. Fuck.
Okay, the dice
I'm
roller
noticing
broken.
a pattern.
No, it seems to be working just fine.
Jeez, look at that. 4, 4, 3, 4, 4, 7, 9, 6, 19, 5.
Oh dear. That
That
was a
dice
lot of
roller
bad.
is-
Oh, fuck.
That dice roller is broken.
I mean, we didn't program the RNG.
Yeah, I know. So do.
But that does mean you've got all of your bad rolls out of the way, so we're now going to die. Cheers.
Okay, there we go.
Oh. I was going to say, what are our passive stealths with the +10?
That only lasts for an hour.
Has it been more than an hour?
I'd say with exploration, kind of exploring that, walking through the city, unless you reapplied it.
With tireless,
It's still a
7
pretty
wouldn't
decent
have
sized
thought of
city.
it.
You guys said you were kind of going through cautiously. Said map is not to scale.
yeah. I'm saying we only made one stop.
Right.
Well, 2 for that few minutes in the intersection.
Would he have reapplied it?
How obvious was it that we were still... Well, yeah, we were trying to sneak away from the cloud, so yeah, he would have. clock down the
Sneak
spell
away
in a
to the
second.
cloud, right? Or from the cloud.
When we were leaving the crossroad bit, where Bristol was like, "Well, that's coming towards us. Let's go over there."
Okay. Yeah, so you would have been. Okay.
Yeah, it's been made clear that we're still trying to be sneaky, so yeah, he would have reapplied.
Mhm.
This is where it just drains all of
Oh.
7 spell slots.
Let me see something. Let me see. Because it doesn't affect your passive, it just affects the roll.
This is true.
Give me. You say, are you trying to sneak back?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a stealth check. Oh, I need to do this also because I didn't check that properly.
I can't possibly roll lower than his perception.
26 and 24.
Because I forgot to do something.
We are
Leave
ghosts.
that at normal. I forgot to do it. Man, rolls are shit today.
Now you know my pain.
Refresh, hold on.
I don't think that really changes
I'm
very
going to
much.
do it anyway. Reset that seed number.
Change the color of that die. You do that.
Has anybody else noticed the recurring theme of a swarm or dispersed group coalescing into a representative individual?
Yep.
Theme.
No, what are you on about?
I know of no theme.
I think he's trying to tell us that hive minds are the way of the future and we should all give up our individuality.
So like I said, what did the Borg pass over?
Resistance is futile.
Probably. Life is futile. But here we are, ticking away.
He says, I killed a dwarven city. Give it up now.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of
Seven walks up, gives him a high five.
do this as well. Like that. Boink. There we go. That's wrong. That should be 16. Hit it. Okay. Yeah, so you're gonna kind of sneak back a little ways. Meet back up with 7, right?
Yep.
Okay. About this time, I imagine Ristel's kind of catching up to the group. I'm catching up to the duo.
The gruesome twosome.
Yeah.
Do I find them?
Yes.
Actually, that's a good question. We're sneaking.
So they're the only thing moving.
When Ristel
Yeah,
meets
but they
up
rolled
with
a
us-
26 and a 24 on the stealth.
I don't imagine like they're trying to stealth from whatever this thing is, not from their own party.
Okay.
Unless I'm wrong, in which case, yeah. Would you be sneaking away from your own party?
I mean, for that matter, I'm trying to sneak forward so that I don't get noticed by this thing. So
Do we see each other? Are we just gonna like walk past?
Well,
Two
stealth
ships
isn't
passing
like
in the night.
stealth doesn't mean like you're invisible. Not
Yeah,
so
I
much.
know. And we are walking through the street, so
Yeah.
like we'll probably see each other. When we meet up with Ristel, I'm gonna say, "Ah, it turned into a people. Run! Ah!" and then just keep going.
It turned into a people. Didn't turn into a person. It turned into
It-
a people.
It turned into a people.
Bristle just stares after him for a second. What did he say?
I said it turned into a people. Ah!
And Yakety Sax starts playing in the background.
Keystone Cops.
No, Benny Hill.
I like Keystone Cops.
You know, Rissel tells him that the rest of the party is trying to figure out a way through the gate. We should catch up with them.
Alright, so, are you guys gonna head back and regroup?
Yep.
Okay.
EPs for dealing with a Dust Devil.
Oh, that's not a Dust Devil. Yeah, that's not a Dust Devil.
EPs for dealing with the thing that you got the picture of. At least for 2 people.
Really, only one.
Sometimes-
Yeah, Christian would be. Braum would have been the only one that really made it out. He got close enough to really be able to see it very well.
Sometimes dealing with it means run away.
So we get to the gate.
Yeah, you guys would end up kind of running back. You'd come up to this gate. Assuming Rockmon, Mongo, and Naren went to the gate.
And we were working on unlocking it, right? Similar mechanisms to what we were dealing with.
As you guys go back to this gate, let me see here. Hold on. Boop. Okay. Kind of going back to this gate. The first gate was probably about 20 feet across, 20, 25 feet across. You can get 2 carts kind of going side by side through this gate. This gate looks to be probably about 30 feet across. And actually probably about 25 feet high. Again, you see similar, kind of like the front gate had these ropes and bars that kind of came up to the gate, almost at an angle. You see similar ones here as well. There just seems to be more of them. You can also see kind of like almost these locking bars that have kind of come across, and there look to be probably about 5 or 6 of them kind of interlocking over the top of this gate, locking it in place.
Do we hear anything on the other side of the gate?
Give me a perception check. Are you like crumbling paper next to your microphone? So Rockmon kind of goes up and kind of sticks his ear to this gate. And it's almost cold to the touch, and not really like chilled or anything like that, but just like a cold metal. And as he does, he's trying to make out anything. You can almost hear like all the sounds of everything behind you kind of reverberating through the ground and into the metal. But it's almost as if the door is just too thick for anything to really get through this sound-wise. I'm not hearing anything. except David's breathing.
So Rockman's going to say, without trying to make too much noise with my microphone, I don't think it's a great idea for us to try to get out this gate and go run into who knows what other things might be coming while we still have something behind us that we haven't dealt with and might have to run back through the middle of if we run into something nastier.
Let's see here. Someone give me a d20. See, and I told you guys it was broken.
Yeah, okay. I'll refresh and then I'll reroll.
4. Okay. We're gonna take that 4. Yeah, what the fuck? That's the second roll on the dice roller with over it. The second highest one so far. 4. Okay. Oh, I don't have one for that yet? Huh.
Is it just Rockman, Naren, and Mongo up at the gate, or have the rest of us caught up to them yet?
I would say it would take you guys a few minutes to kind of catch up because they kind of went ahead.
Gotcha.
Something here.
Oh, sorry, I thought they had already caught up. So
They would catch up within a couple of minutes.
what I said probably didn't make sense, pending hearing from them.
11. Okay. Well, I mean, if it's something like Rockman would have waited until they got back to say that, then. But Mongo, Rockman, and Naren would be at the gate for a few minutes before the other three showed up.
Yeah, Rockman definitely would have not encouraged opening that other gate when we had the split party and we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what nasties are on the other side of that big gate.
So, catching up to the rest of the group. Key to my bike. There we go. There we go. Okay. So yeah, it would take a few minutes, but Ristel, Brahm, and Seven would eventually catch up to the rest of the group. Rockman's kind of checking out this large gate, putting his ear up to it. Doesn't really hear anything through it. Yeah. You will kind of notice, similar to the front gate, there's kind of a shack off to one, or not a shack, but like a guard building off to one side. Looks a little bit more heavier fortified than the one up at the front gate. Doors closed on it.
What's the holdup? Have you not figured out a way through yet?
I don't know that it's a great idea for us to just zip through this gate. What did you find with relative to that cloud?
Well, it's not just a cloud.
Or
Well,
bigger and badder nasties on the other side.
Brom, tell them what you saw.
Well, I got close to the cloud, and it was talking about how hungry it was. It sounded really upset about needing food. And then it came down and turned into a cloud dust person, about like 3 or 4 feet tall.
Well, do we think it's a good idea to try to open the gate and go run into something else if we've got that dust person behind us?
Well, it's either that, or we play keep away with this thing, or we leave.
We left the gates open. If it's the reason everyone here is mummified, that could be bad.
See, this is why I said we should close the gates, because the dwarves might have been keeping something in.
These particular dwarves might have been noble enough to sacrifice themselves. I'm not.
We could just open the gate again.
You assume it would be that easy.
Yes, I do.
That thing had to come from somewhere. If we're going to find out where better than further inside?
How fast did it seem to move? Can we easily outrun it if needed?
We've been staying ahead of it thus far.
Well, we could try to open these gates and see what happens. If there's half a dozen behind the gates, then we can head for the other side of the city and see how quickly we can get out.
Travis, is there open space above these gates, or is everything just flush with the wall and ceiling?
On this one, it's as far as you can tell, it seems to be pretty solid. There's not much gap. The door this side of the door kind of insets into the wall, so it comes out a little bit, but
Is there like battlement above the gates?
Nope.
What about this guard shack that you said? Like, what's the deal with that?
Door's closed. Can't really see inside.
This gate had a similar set of ropes or poles of some sort that we saw on the other one.
Mm-hmm. Just more intense, more of them, bigger lock, bigger what looks to be kind of locking mechanism, more supports, more restraints. It's like a heavier duty version of the front gate.
Can we see all that?
You guys came in. Seal which one? The one you're at, or the other gate you came in?
You're talking about how it's got all these locks and whatnot. Can we see that on this gate?
Yeah, you can actually see like locking mechanisms on this side of the gate as if they're locking it.
Oh, but we can't see like the ropes to pull it open or the bar to move aside.
Yeah.
Okay. Ristel is going to go to the door to the guard shack and try to open it.
Alright, so Rissel's going to kind of go over and you can see the shack and you're going to kind of, it'll take a little bit of force, not crazy amount. You'll be able to kind of push this door open a little bit. Getting inside.
Is it just a little room, or is there like a door on the other side, a tunnel or anything?
So getting in here, you're actually going to see this. There are 3 levers on the gate you guys came in. This one actually looks to have probably about 6 of them. Looking around, there's really no windows in here. There's the door you guys came in, and there almost looks to be kind of looking up over the ceiling. I mean, like you can kind of see one side looks to be almost like an access hatch.
So the access hatch is in the ceiling?
Yes.
Rissa would lean out the door and like, wave for everybody to come in here and say, "There's levers to open the gates. Somebody see if they can figure out how to utilize those. I'm going to try and open this access hatch."
Inside here, it's not a crazy tall room. Probably right about that 6 to 7 foot mark. So like, Mongo, Naren would both have to kind of stoop a little bit when they came in. Mongo probably had to stoop a lot when he came in, if he came in. Who's going inside?
Rockmon will do the same thing he did with the levers on the front gate. Just start moving the first one, see what happens.
So in here, very similarly, you've got your first two, your first 4. No. Where'd my notes go? Hold on. It's kind of the reverse of the front gate. Your first lever is, what was it? The first front gate was down, down, up. This one looks to be, if you're going left to right, you've got 1 up, 2 down, 1 up, 2 down.
Okay.
Are there any dwarven writings associated with it? Any glyphs or characters or written on or around?
Did Mongo go inside?
At least stick his head in and look.
Kind of look in, see that it's too small, pull his head back out. Also, I thought Mongo couldn't read.
You can tell there's writing.
Yeah.
You can't read it, but you can tell there's writing.
Yeah, kind of looking in. No, you wouldn't see any markings.
Rockmon will just start on the left and start reversing the levers then, similar to what we did before.
So it was up, down, down, up, down, down. So
Yep.
pulling the first one down.
Yep.
Give me a strength check.
Oh, Rockmon's stellar at these.
That's his -1.
My question is, where's the payout slot?
2. So Rockmon's gonna kind of reach forward and grab this big lever and try to pull it back, and
Hanging from it.
Almost, yeah. It's kind of a lever coming up out of the ground, probably right about that 3 foot mark. But he's gonna just and just can't even get it to budge.
Breaks a claw nail.
So is Mongo looking at this going on from the outside?
I thought you said you poked your head in and went back out.
Right? The door is still open, right?
Yeah.
Is it visible from the outside?
Not readily. You'd have to kind of position yourself just right. And even then, it's almost like looking through a cracked door. You just got this really narrow slit. So.
Okay, well, he's interested to see what's going on.
Rockmon's just going to say, hey, somebody give me a hand with this.
Sorry, real quick. What was the order of the levers that they're in?
Up, down, down, up, down, down.
Yep. That too. I just realized there's no down carrot. Oh. But Rockmon's asking somebody for help. Would Mongo go in then? Or...
If he hears him.
Okay. I mean, unless he's whispering it to Ristel inside the building. Was there anybody else inside the building? Ristel and Rockmon?
Rom would probably be outside trying to keep an eye on the cloud.
That's kind of what I figured. Is anybody not actively inside would be outside on edge watching for anything. But yeah, Mongo could go inside. I mean, Rockmon's kind of calling out for help.
Okay. But it's pretty cramped. He'll probably sit on the floor and offer to. Okay, which one?
So Rockman will just say, pull this first one down. I know he'll point at it so he knows which one.
Okay. Want me to roll strength check?
Give me a strength check.
With advantage.
Why?
Oh, that's in rage only.
Mm-hmm.
Not until 6th level I got strength on everything. Oh well.
Rockman could kick him in an unpleasant place.
Is that good enough?
Nice.
That might be good.
Yeah. So you're gonna pull this lever back. Mongo's gonna kind of reach forward and just almost like that bodybuilder.
A two-finger draw.
No, he's gonna kind of reach forward and just get that baseball grip and just you can hear his hands just kind of ringing on this pole, and he's gonna start to pull it back, and it's gonna go a couple inches. It's gonna go, and eventually the handle's gonna break.
Oh, lovely.
Right, just a little bit lower than halfway down.
Okay, toss aside the handle and take a hold of what's left.
All right.
There you go. That 20.
So again, like this little bit of a stub, Mongo's gonna kind of reach for. He's gonna just this last foot and a half, and he's gonna just pull and pull, and you're gonna start to hear it crack, and it's gonna break clean off right at the hinge.
Oh. Lovely. What now?
Well, I don't think we're going to open the gate this way. Rockmon will just call to Bristol and say, looks like we have a bit of a problem opening this gate.
Sounds like it.
The handle, the first handle broke completely off, so I don't think we're going to be able to get past this. Does it look like there's any sort of a bypass similar to the ones we found at the front gates?
I'm working on an access hatch.
Okay. Rissel's gonna check out that hatch.
Yeah.
Okay. How tall are you?
5'8".
5'8". Yeah, you'd be able to reach up to it. I mean, it's a few inches above your head. Like I said, this room's only about a little over 6 feet tall, so you'd be able to reach up to it. You might have to stretch your arms just a tiny bit, and you'd be able to kind of get to this cover on this hatch, and you'll be able to kind of open it, and you'll see essentially like a ladder kind of carved into this rock above you, and it looks like it goes up, and it goes to a ledge and kind of goes off to one side.
I'm gonna scale it real quick and peek over the edge, see where it goes.
Looks to be that it kind of curves around and around the corner, and you lose sight of it around the corner. You're gonna go further in, see where it opens up at, or
I'll whisper down the hatch. Looks like there's another passageway through here. I'll go see if I can get to the gate and open it up.
Okay.
And continue on.
so Rissel's gonna go further into the tunnel. Outside, what are you guys doing? Okay.
I'm still just watching the cloud.
Did it like go back up into the sky?
The cloud?
Yeah.
say you're quite a ways off from where you saw it. And it's about halfway across the city, roughly. You guys can give me perception checks. Anybody outside watching it?
While they're doing that, Rockmon's going to be looking around for any sort of instruction manual or anything at all in this little area.
Hmm.
7.
Hello.
Brom, Naren. Say, as you walk, I imagine almost as you guys are kind of pulling back, the cloud you guys saw is off in the distance. It's, I say, you can just kind of make out the motion in the dark. It's a little tough to spot. 7. You're gonna notice something.
I don't wanna.
Okay, you don't.
No, I do wanna.
Remember
For the
those?
sake of everyone else.
Remember those little mini dust devils
Yeah.
that sound like a T-Rex?
Yeah.
As Brom has a motorcycle race outside of his window?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening out there.
7's gonna notice something on these little dust devils. They look to be going in 2 different directions.
Say what?
One's kind of going up that way. The other looks to be going that way.
The dust devils, Travis. What do they mean?
I don't know.
That they burst out of here?
Well, you know what they mean. They go towards the cloud.
And it's not like they're alternating. It's almost one of those, you can see them, like, 7's kind of watching for it now, and they're almost simultaneously, you can see them just, at the same time, just going 2 different directions. And he gets a blue screen, of course.
Rip.
We'll give him a minute. Mongo and Rockmon, what are you guys doing?
So Rockmon said that he was going to look around the room just to see if he could find any instruction manuals or something, but he won't be able to read them most now. But just see what he can find in the room where the switches aren't.
You can't read Dwarven? Okay.
I don't think so.
I don't know. That's one of those, like, I thought everybody in the group read Dwarven for some reason.
Not me.
Unless it was just Brom does. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah, kind of looking around. I mean, nothing really for written stuff really jumps out at all. You will kind of take note, like, there seems to be not really an armory, but, like, a weapons rack kind of off to one side. Kind of a shield stuck on the other side of it, and a couple of hammers. A couple of Dwarven warhammers.
Okay, nothing that Rockmon would be too interested in.
No, not really. Mongo?
Mongo's going to stand by to pull any more levers as needed. Unless he's told not to.
Yeah.
And I'm back.
I mean, would Rockmon direct him to flip more levers, or no? Welcome back, Nathan.
Hello.
The Sheiks?
Yes?
Would Mongo said he's waiting for more direction on levers?
Oh, we're not trying. We're not trying to open any more of the levers.
Okay. Okay.
We don't need to break additional ones.
Right. Ristol, you're traveling down through the ceiling tunnel, right?
Yes.
So you're gonna kind of follow this thing around, and it kind of turns, or it turns a few times. There's not really split offs, but there are more turns than there were before, or in the first one. Give me a perception check. Listen check. 23. All right. Squeak.
That was my sonar.
Forward, ahead of you, you're gonna hear almost scraping sounds. Like almost as if something else is in this tunnel, coming your way.
I am immediately stealthing.
Inside the tunnel,
Yes.
where you have nothing to hide behind. Or
I am attempting to make as little noise as possible,
okay.
getting as low as I can. If this thing comes into view, I want to have a jump on it.
Right. This is a tunnel. There's nothing to hide behind or anything like that. Your best bet's gonna be kind of hiding behind a corner and waiting. There's nothing to really give you cover, just so you know.
I've got Mask of the Wild. I can make do with very little.
Right, but even then, you still need something. Alright. Give me a stealth check. 21. Okay. So, Bristol's gonna kind of... Bristol's gonna kind of hunker up against the corner of this wall, making as little noise, low profile as you can, and almost like almost like a stealth action game where he's just kind of like tries to use like a mirror and look around the corner kind of thing, watching, trying not to be seen at all. Around this corner, about puppy distance away, about 15-20 feet past the end of this corner, you're gonna see someone kind of coming around this corner. Let me see. Individual, he's got kind of this pale, or kind of paler skin. Not quite, like, very pale skin. Not to like translucent level, but as if he hasn't gone outside a whole lot in his life. Kind of has this little bit of a heavier armor suit on him. No, I'm saying him, but wearing kind of this heavier armor. And behind him, you can see he kind of turns around. This way. Further in. And as he kind of walks forward in this hallway, there's going to be a few individuals kind of come up behind him. Let me do this. We'll clear the drawings for now. Line. See. that's the wrong selector. There we go. Okay, that's pretty much what you're going to see for right now. You're just going to kind of make out this one individual and two kind of behind him. They look to be more, not really armed or even armored for that matter. Sorry, they do have some armor on. They look to be kind of wearing this almost scale mail armor. Kind of carrying these little war picks with them. And they're just kind of trudging along behind him.
This fellow up front.
Mhm.
I see the pale skin. I see the armor. Do I see red eyes?
Give me a perception check. I would say you do. The guy up front's wearing this. He's got kind of this breastplate armor, or what looks to be kind of breastplate. It's kind of a little bit more worn. Almost looks kind of rusted in some spots, as if it's older or hasn't been taken care of very well. He's also wielding. He's in here. He's part dragging it, part trying to almost use it as a walking stick, but he's got this kind of long glaive that he's carrying.
Okay. I want to hunker down even more and just coil up. And when this guy gets within reach, I want to unload a flurry of blows on him.
Okay.
I would like to, as I am throwing these strikes, I would like to pop the Dragon Claw strike. Just activate the fire hands, and as I am throwing these.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. You can do that. Okay. But you're not calling back. Outside, before that kicks off, 7 Brahmin and Aaron.
Yes.
7.
Hi.
You see these eddies going in 2 different directions now.
Yeah.
Still not sure what an eddy is.
Dust Devil. Mini Dust Devil.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the only proper use of the term Dust Devil thus far.
Yeah, 7 will point it out. Because that's interesting.
I'm sure that's nothing.
We hope that's nothing.
Seven kind of points it out and says, be on guard. Let's hope it's nothing. Sounds like.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Not much we can do
Word
about
for
them
word
right
what I
now.
just said.
Inside the building, Mongo and Rockmon. Mongo's waiting for orders. Rockmon is doing what?
He's just listening to hear if Risto's coming back.
Okay.
Or calls for help or anything like that.
Okay. Is that something Mongo would do, David?
I'm sorry, say again.
You were talking about throwing levers.
Oh, D-Sheiks, what did you say?
That he's waiting to hear from Bristol.
Okay, well, I guess he'll be standing by. Nobody's said that, as far as he knows, people are trying to figure out which lever to throw now.
Okay.
Or perhaps Ristel is going to come back and tell us which lever to throw.
Okay. Bristol.
Yeah.
Go ahead and give me your attack rolls.
Okay.
Alright.
1, 2, 3, 4. Do I have advantage on these because I have the
Surprise.
advantage of surprise?
I would say yes.
Okay. All right. Fuck me. 6 on the first shot. And then 14 with the second. 26 with the third.
Wow.
34 total. And he also must succeed a dex save or be knocked prone.
Let me check here. Okay. So
Yes,
that is 1, 2, 3, 4. $35. And 2, 3, 4. Yeah, all 4 of them hit. 35. Okay. Now, as you do this, you're gonna get a better view now that he's come down the hall.
Whee!
And that's a dex, right?
Yes.
He falls prone.
All right. Once he's down, I am getting the fuck out. And I am using every bit of my movement and my tireless dash to get back to the access hatch and drop down. So that would be 90 feet, if that's enough to get me back to the access hatch.
Yeah, that would.
Would it be enough to not just get me to the lip of it, but allow me to
Kind of
jump
hop
in?
down, yeah. I'd
Yeah.
say you're probably about 40 feet in. So you'd be able to get all the way back and still have, with a jump down, probably about another 40 feet left. I figure you get back,
Okay.
you're going to stop for a second and just, then go. You know,
Do you need me to-
Superman out.
Do you need me to reduce damage on the fall, or is it?
No, not from
Okay.
like 7 feet. Or not from 6
Oh,
or
okay.
7 feet.
Okay.
Unless you're Superman diving out of this tunnel.
Nah. Yeah, and once I hit the floor in the guard check, I'm gonna start shutting the access hatch, and I'm gonna look at Rockman and Mongo. Find some way to seal this. There are ghouls coming.
So Rockmon will say, "Mongo, help, quick!" And he'll go over. Basically, I didn't see anything in this room, though, right? Just shields and.
Yeah, nothing that really jumps out, no.
Is there a bar that closes that access hatch or anything like that?
Nope.
That goes over the hatch?
What was that thing in Ristel's inventory that is still marked in 7s? That was a thing we had. What was it?
Yeah.
It'll come to me eventually. What was it?
It's really hard.
It was a very hard stick, yes. A hard shaft, shall we say.
One might say immovable.
An immovable shaft, yeah.
Yeah, but I don't want to leave it.
No, but just
It's
put
the
it there
problem.
for now until they get bored and walk away.
Does the hatch open towards us or away from us?
Kind of drops down. It's almost one of those, like,
Okay.
there's kind of a simple latch system to keep it up and shut, but it's not like a deadbolt.
Okay, so if it opens into the room, yeah, I'll pop the immovable rod and set it like right up against the hatch as it's closed.
Rockmon will just ask Bristol, how many ghouls did you see? Is it something we can deal with, or is it a whole army? What'd you see?
A fuck ton.
Not good.
Metric or imperial?
Nautical.
Oh fuck, the worst. The soggy ghouls.
A physics fuck ton. That's an Avogadro's number.
Ooh.
I may have taken out the one up front, maybe, but there are at least upwards of a dozen more right behind him.
We can't very well leave the immovable rod here. Well, that would be a waste. Should we
Well,
just head for
well,
the other side of the city?
The hatch is made of wood, correct?
It's kind of a almost like a reinforced stone sheet. Not really a stone block. I mean, it's stone, but it's only maybe an inch or two thick. But it's got kind of wooden boards reinforcing it.
Okay, enough effort and it could be shattered.
Yeah.
We have to find some way to seal it, melt it closed, something, or bar the door to the guard shack. Something to at least slow them down.
How straight is the hallway? Is it something that we could potentially? I could fire off 1,000 darts spell and take out a bunch of them, or at least.
No, it's several corners.
Okay,
Convoluted.
That's not good. So, just scrambling around, looking outside the door. Do we see anything else that we could use to brace this thing?
Give me a perception check.
Yeah, Bristol will probably be helping since he doesn't have to hold the rod in place.
14.
Fuck.
I'd even let Mongo look too. I don't imagine Mongo's just like sitting there picking his nose or anything. Oh, those guys coming? Okay.
That is a horrifying mental image. Can you imagine the loogie you pull out of that?
Oh.
Can the folks outside hear us saying this? I'm not sure how.
I mean, unless you're whispering, yeah.
I doubt if we're whispering at this point.
Yeah.
Probably got pretty excited.
Yep.
Well, let them shell through the door.
Well, Mongo's probably got his axe out.
That's a
Yeah, I mean,
reasonable
Rockman said we're poking our heads outside to see if there's anything to brace the hatch. So, I mean, the folks outside would probably notice the increased activity.
Yeah.
So, kind of glancing around outside, I mean, obviously there's a weapons rack inside. There's, looking outside, you see a couple of little, some things outside, nothing too crazy. There's kind of a bit of a standoff from the gate itself before you find like houses and things. But kind of next to you, you might find like a couple of barrels kind of stacked right outside the guard shack, kind of like ale barrels. Speaking as things as words.
So Rockmon will just say to Nick to Bristol, if how much space is there behind the hatchway there? Are they going to have to come through one at a time pretty slowly? Is that something we could take advantage of? Possibly, a sticking point for them where they can only get one out at a time, and we could deal with them that way.
They might be able to pack two of them in that hatch, but they wouldn't have room to maneuver.
Yeah, so the hatch kind of, you open up the hatch and it goes up about 5 feet. Or I think I said 5 feet, right? However high I said. And then it shoots out. And it's got probably, it goes out about 10 feet before it makes its first turn.
Well, we could wait a few
Oh,
seconds.
I said 20 feet, didn't I? Anyway.
So we could wait a little bit, take down the immovable rod. I could fire off a blast of fire to see if we could slow them down, and then we could just get the heck out of here. We should certainly be able to outrun them. That shouldn't be a problem.
Is the cloud coming?
The one off that you guys saw over the guard shack? Nope. Seems that one looks to have moved away from you.
Oh, hopefully somebody on the outside is keeping an eye on the cloud or clouds, and overheard me asking the question, is the cloud coming?
Nope, not yet.
Bristol is going to look at Rockman and shake his head. I really don't think it's a good idea to get anywhere in there and try to fire something off at them. And he's going to pause like he's just thought of something. What if we let them out and give them to the cloud?
Well, if we could figure out how to do that.
The cloud's followed us before. I can draw it in. I'm fast enough to get out before either the ghouls or the cloud can catch me.
I think we're all at this point with tireless. I think we're fast enough to get away from these guys if we need to do that.
Nobody in this group is faster than me.
No, I don't. That's not what I meant.
I don't want to hear anybody clearing their throat. That's a fact.
I'm pretty sure I'm the same speed as you.
45?
Yeah.
50.
50?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What you talking about, Willis?
I can become a mule.
Oh.
Plus my mobility.
Thought you were only 40.
Does your mule form have step of the wind?
No, it has step of 4 legs catch up.
Step of 4 legs. I love it.
Well, Mongo and I can step out if you want to grab the rod and then run. We can try to clear some space. My guess is they're not going to want to come out too fast. I could fire off something into the gap after you really come past the door. And
I hit their
that might
leader
slow them
pretty
down.
hard. They're going to come out as fast as they can. And if I'm going to be drawing the cloud here, the rest of you need to be out of its way.
Do we need to hide?
I think so, yes.
Well, we can try that. I'm not sure. I wonder how well these guys know the city. They may know it pretty well if they've been having free reign running around here for a while.
They haven't had free reign. That gate is sealed up shut, and nobody's been through here.
If they come out and see Ristal, they're going to focus on Ristal. And if everybody else is hiding, they'll chase Ristal. If they'll chase him at all.
Well,
I
fair
left
enough.
the impression.
Let's see.
All right, so Rockmon will then say, "All right, Bongo, let's go out and get the others. We'll tell the dog to be quiet.
Good doggo.
Dog is sad.
We'll get out of the way. Let Bristol try to lead them away, and possibly we can get them to be get them out off of our backs that way."
It's like it knows you're talking.
Yeah, the dog thinks you're talking to him, and it doesn't understand why you're not petting him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good doggo.
So it sounds like Rockmon's saying, "Hey, let's go outside and hide while Ristal leads him away," or
Essentially.
okay.
So we'll go find us a hiding spot.
Sound good, Ristal?
Yep.
Okay.
I have this vision in my head is Mongo goes and finds a lamp pole. Which is what would happen in the cartoons, but this isn't the cartoons.
Right. Let's see. You guys cast Tireless when you first got in here. I'd say by now, you're coming up on the end of it. Coming all the way across the city, kind of taking your time, checking things out.
About to run out of gas.
Yeah. It's still going to last for... You've got maybe another 30 minutes of it left. But
At this point, Brahm is going to approach the door of this little guard shack and say, "Guys, those ghouls, maybe we could talk to them? They're the first people we've seen alive down here. So maybe?"
For certain definitions of people and certain definitions of alive.
I did not say anything about alive. I just said people.
You said that they were the first people that we've seen alive.
If I said that, it immediately left my mind.
It was a bigoted statement on your part.
Look, I have literally never played a character in Dungeons and Dragons that hasn't at least ended up undead, so there's no difference between life and death. That literally happened yesterday.
So yeah, this
I
one
was
you
playing
just
a
start
normal
undead
character.
and you're already ahead of the curve.
Yeah. That was
Alright.
partially the idea.
So that sounds like a pretty good spot to kind of wrap it up for the night. We're ending a little earlier than usual, but yeah, it sounds like you guys have some semblance of a plan. Basically, run and hide. There are worse plans. I'll give that.
While the ghoul dogs run after the rabbit, Ristle.
I still love Ristel's next reaction to me saying my speed. It's like 50. It's like yeah.
I thought Ristle was 40.
No, 45.
45 because monk.
Yep.
But I'm 50 because standard 40 movement for a mule and then plus 10 for mobility.
Gotcha.
I can also
Yeah, but
kick
I
and
have
run away.
3 dash actions.
Yeah.
Your monk
Well,
speed keeps
eventually
going up with levels.
Yeah, every few or so.
Rockmont still has the expeditious retreat scroll too, so he could compete pretty well.
That's a free bonus dash action.
So we're gonna wrap it up for the night, folks. Kind of end up in a sticky situation here. Dice were not playing nice at the party, but it happens. Well, hope to see you guys next week. Bye.